Hello and welcome to Fifth Quarter AZ. My name is Tommy Hernandez, and today we have a special edition for you. We have Coach Tyrone Johnson here with us today, fresh off his 2025 4A state championship. How you doing, Coach?
I am well. I am happy, and look, I got a little something for you.
Oh, man. Let me touch that thing. Thing of beauty right there. Thing of beauty.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Congratulations on that. Second one in 3 years, correct?
Correct. That is correct. Yep, second one in 3 years. Only took 17 to get the first one, but just a couple years to get the second one.
I was going to bring that up. So it took you 17 years to get to the first one, and now you have two. How you feeling?
Feeling good. I guess, that's all about perseverance, being foolish enough to keep going to it happen, whatever you want to call it. But no, feeling real good, especially with this group and what they accomplished. It's been a good feeling.
Absolutely. Just getting back to the state championship, it was 3 years in a row?
So we did 2 in a row, and we lost last year in the Final Four, and then now we got back this year. So three out of the last 4 years we're in the finals.
Wow, that's an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah.
So how did this team pull through, or how did you feel going into this season?
Well, going into the season, we knew we had a lot of changes. We knew we had a lot of new faces. We knew we had a lot of inexperience at the varsity level. So from the state championship team, Tegan Martin, she was going to be the only one that returned from that state championship team. Everybody else graduated. Then last year, we only had, I want to say, 3 others that were returning from the Final Four team, and so everybody else was new. Wow. And just knowing that, a lot of people doubted that we'd be able to do what we did. And, I always felt good about our team and our chances. We knew we had some great freshmen coming in. We knew we had some sophomores this year that played great as far as at the JV level last year and stuff. And so, I was excited about the group. And of course we had Tegan and Carter and, Gabby and Walker all in back. And so I was excited about the group.
Right. Yeah. If they don't know by now, you don't rebuild, you reload, right?
Hey, that's what we do. We don't believe in no rebuilding. We just reload and come at you. You know how it go.
Yep. That's it, man. You've proved the program is elite. I think you've had 103 consecutive conference or region games won.
Yeah, that's a Mr. Flag Coco stat. I don't know, it's 100 and something according to Mr. Flag Coco, but yeah.
Yeah, that's straight from Russell. Yeah, I do my homework and I knew who to go to. So, Mr. Russell Woods, Mr. Flag Coco, thanks for always keeping us up to date.
Yes, indeed.
I took a few notes I talked to him a little bit before this because I knew I was coming on, but so your overall record during those 19 years is 417 and 139 with a 750 winning percentage. So what I wanted to get to, during that time, you become the most winningest varsity coach in Flagstaff history.
Right.
And you've passed coaches that are legendary in Flagstaff like Coach Moran and Coach Baker. How does that feel?
Well, it feels good to, be on the same list as some of those, because when we were coming up, you hear those names, and those are legendary names, and to be, just on the same list as them is pretty special in and of itself. When I was in high school, I got to play against Moran, you know what I mean? But you knew the sound mind, defensive philosophy. You knew the type of teacher and technician he was. Coach Baker, he's one of the only ones that won it on the boys' side and girls' side. My Uncle Larry played for him in '75 when they won it. And so, to be on those types of lists, Fred Anderson, we have an award named after him that the best basketball players get every year because of his accolades and career and all that. And just to be, on the same list as them is pretty special.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I mean, Coach Moran just actually stopped coaching a couple years ago. He made another run at Cocoa Boys and did great there. I think he made it to a Final Four a few years back. So, being on the same level, which you definitely deserve to be,
I appreciate
is awesome, man. Growing up with you and seeing where you're at now is inspirational to me. And just so proud of you and everything you've accomplished. And
I appreciate that.
It's been awesome. It's
yes,
been awesome.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. It's been fun. You know, we're doing it for the South Side. You
Yes,
know how
sir.
we
Yes,
do.
sir. Yeah, it's good. And I mean, just you see it on social media. So many people we grew up with are, posting it and shouting out your name, and you're doing it for Flag. You're doing it for the South Side, and it's
absolutely.
It's
and that's because I still don't have social media, but when people show me and you can see people that you haven't talked to in so long, and that they congratulating you and wishing you well and all that type of stuff. That's the part about being in a community such as Flagstaff, because at some point it's not about Flag High or Cocoa or anything like that. We get to that level, that game, it's about Flagstaff. Of course we want to represent our high school well, but we want to represent the city well. And when you have different people reaching out that you grew up with and ain't talked to them forever, you know what I'm saying? And seeing wishing you well, I mean, it's pretty special.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, and you definitely make Flagstaff proud. So when you just looking back to when you started, could you see this 2-time state championship and all everything you've been through, all the trials and tribulations throughout the years?
Right. Well, shoot, call me crazy. When I first started, I thought I'd had this a long time ago. I didn't think it would take 17 years. Because when I first started, I had a group, my daughter, I started when she was in 8th grade, and her and like Kaya, Michelle, some of them, Coach Jess, Stricker, they all played together. Patty, I had some groups that I thought, okay, this is the group, this is the one we're gonna win. And I thought during that time we would end up having multiple. Even like when Cassie Jones was a senior and they were a freshman, I knew it was like, this is it. You know what I mean? And that was like 1-2 years in. Then they went 4 years, getting knocked out in the Final Four. And then it didn't seem like we could get past the Final Four. It seemed like we'd get to the Final Four, get knocked out, get to the Final Four, knocked out. And then finally we were able to get over the hump and get to the championship, and we lost to South Point Catholic. And after that point, we see, we can do this. And, we've been able to get back a couple more times since then.
So what do you think that, what did you do to get over that hump? What did you go back to the drawing board, change things up? How did you finally reach that point?
I think really honestly, when I think about it, I think when I had Illian in that group, I think I probably had more nervous energy as a coach, and I don't know if that was admitted to the players and stuff like that, just because, we were trying to do meditation, laying down lights out, whatever, and I think I was making the moment bigger than what it needed to be. I think I needed to be more so like, hey, this is another game, another expectation. Let's go out here and play the way that we're capable of playing. And I think, it was just, Final Four, this is one thing, let's. And I think I put a lot of probably unnecessary stress on those kids at that time. And then at one point when we finally got to the championship, I think it was kind of the night before, I was just like, you know what? This Final Four, it's just a game. And let's just go approach it as such. It's just a game. Right. It's a game, and if we win, we get the luxury, the privilege of playing another game. And so my perspective kind of changed in the sense like, it's not like, do or die, you know what I mean? The sun's still going to come up the next day. So it's like, okay, let's just keep doing what we've been doing. And if we take care of business, the scoreboard will handle itself. If we're on the winning end, we'll play in a championship. If we're not, we had a great season. Yeah,
that's a great philosophy. I mean, the way we act and react, I mean, the players feed off that as coaches. And, if we're able to keep it calm, and even though we're nervous on the inside.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We don't want that, giving over to the players and now they can't perform.
Right. Yeah. As long as we act cool.
They don't know no different.
Cool, yeah.
Yes, indeed. But, and I'm quite sure that, same for you when you get, when you had your NAU softball teams and you're on a national stage and you're at the World Series and you're playing these University of Michigans and different things, you know what I mean? The way you approach it is a reflection of kind of how your players are going to approach it. And if you're all tight and, tentative or, hesitant or anything like that in your decision making, you're going to see that they're not quite as crisp either, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I went through the same thing. I was excited and nervous myself, and never been there before.
Yeah.
The first time I played it back in my head, what I could have done different. I think the biggest thing was to stay calm and keep it fun and keep it light and have a good time. I mean, at the end of the day, we're playing a game and we're here to have some fun and play. So
exactly,
kind of feeding off that definitely helped.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like if you seen Tegan's demeanor throughout, I mean, she didn't get too high, she didn't get too low. She was pretty much even keel, and she just had a determination about her. And I think that also helped settle some of the nerves from some of the people, whether it was freshmen or whether it was juniors, and this was going to be their first time in that position. And so, just having that, I think, spoke volumes for us and our success being able to get there these last few times.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know, Tegan went into this season with a little chip on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
How did you, get her to, not feed too much into that, to feed off it, but not let that get in her head? Like, how'd you let her use that?
Well, the big thing is, you can't do it by yourself. So no matter how big of a chip you have on your shoulder, how mad you are, you still need others to go with you. So you got to find a way to lead and to lead this group. And, early on, she had some struggles leading the group, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you want it so bad and you want to do it and you want to prove that, it's a turnoff to some of the players in the way that you're approaching it. But, through just trial and error and through really opening up and getting to know the players, she figured out a balance of how she could actually talk to them, how she could, push their buttons to motivate them and stuff like that. And so it was a work for her. It was a work in progress, and she stuck to it, and she really worked, and she believed in not just herself, but her teammates and the coaches, and, it all came together.
Yeah. I mean, and it came together fine. Look at that trophy right there.
Yes, this trophy right here, that one right there. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So, having a younger team and kind of needing her to buy in.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get her to buy in? How do you get your players to buy into what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, the big thing with the buy-in is that you got to make it bigger than the individual. You know what I mean? You got to make it to where we need each other collectively in order to accomplish this. And so if it's just about me as an individual, then you got 15, 16, 17 individuals and it doesn't work. You got to get something that's bigger than them to where they got to look at each other and be like, okay, I need to work for you. You need to work for me. And then if you can do that, then you'll see that they'll start buying in more and more. And then once they have some success, they start believing. They be like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe we can do this. Maybe let's really go in. Yeah, let's get all in. Let's do this for each other. And so I think you got to make it bigger than the individual in order to even start getting that buy-in.
Right. Now, that's great advice for sure. So as far as like building the chemistry and team bonding for other coaches, what is something you do to get your teams to really click and bond, come together?
So, I think for us, really, it's just you got to fight together. You got to cry together. You got to laugh together. We shared some personal moments when things are going tough. We don't do it necessarily every year, but like this year we did. We did your why. We wanted to know your why so that we can know each other better. Why are you playing this? And you'll be amazed at some of the reasons why kids are doing what they're doing. You'll be amazed at some of the background stories of what they're going through and what they're dealing with and why they come to basketball to kind of get away from it or to help heal. I mean, I be in there like a big old crybaby and they're just crying and, we just sharing emotions and just really opening up to one another, you know what I mean? When you have like so many stories and so much detail and you can see some of the hurt and then you can see some of the elation that basketball brings, gives you a different perspective and you understand why you're out there working for that individual too. And so we'll do that. Vegas is always a great time when we go to the tournament because now we're away from pretty much everybody. Obviously, parents can come, but when they're in Vegas with us, they have to stay with us. They have to do it. So you spend a lot of time. We have some good parents and good booster clubs that do different activities with them and everything. And so it's just, from November to the beginning of March, we're going to be with each other pretty much 6 days out of the week, and so
Right.
you better figure out how to get along. And so, we don't have a special trip other than a tournament or anything like that, but a lot of times it's the tournament that we really do, like bonding games, this, that, or another. And then you'll see the girls start doing stuff themselves, like, hey, we're going to so-and-so's house, or hey, we're going to watch it. And so, you always encourage that, and it ends up working out in the end.
Absolutely. I mean, you see, at the end of the day, they're going to build lifelong relationships through
Yep.
sports. And,
Yep.
and as we know, coming up through tough times, sports are a way for us to decompress and get away from things that are negative. So
Yeah.
who are some coaches that you look up to that helped you get through those tough times coming up?
Well, just coming up, I had a lot of respect for all my coaches in all my sports and everything from, when Frank and Richard Slater and all them coaching us on the Vikings or, Coach Fletcher coaching in baseball, Little League, you know what I mean? All the way up through, Coach Harkey in middle school basketball, Coach Riley Weidinger, Coach Holland in football. I mean, just every coach that took time to really see something in me or be like, hey, you got to straighten up. You got to be this way because you got a chance to be different. I appreciated that throughout. And so obviously there's a number of those coaches. When I look at like some of the coaches like in college or other high school coaches, I mean, this year was special in terms of Karen Self. She just got the record for the most wins in Arizona State history with over 800 and something like close to 900 wins. Wow. And to be able to know that I've competed against her, I mean, she's beat me several times. But,
it's the competition that counts.
Yeah, just to know that, you in those circles, you got great coaches that you compete against, that you form friendships with. I think those are some of the coolest things. And the coaches that I compete against now, even like say Coach Bix, we used to compete when she was in the 4A. Now she's in the 6A, and she played for me at Flag High, sending me film, different things like that. I took one of her sets. You probably didn't know that, Coach Bix, but I took one of your sets just to let you know from the film when she did Prescott. You know what I mean? And so I get inspiration from just all my peers right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's full circle, right? Like you coached her coming up, you were successful with her as a player, now to see her successful as a coach.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, man?
I was good. I mean, we went down to the 6A championship game. Her Gilbert Tigers, they qualified and they played for the 6A title, and it was just cool to see her down there, really coaching them girls up, and some mannerisms like Coach J. Some of the time, I'm like, oh, look, let's simmer that one down. But no, it was just it's awesome just to be able to see her come into her own and do what she do, and it didn't take her 17 years to get to a final. It only took her 7, and she got a young squad, and I'm sure she'll be back for more. So just really to see, like you say, full circle and see her doing well, and also balancing coaching and being a family person to where she has a wife and a son, and just family oriented and still able to really put into these girls what she do, because she's out there helping girls, changing lives. And if I had any little part of that, then you know what I'm saying, that's just all a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you had a big part of that. If you asked her, and anytime we coach a youngster and they come up and you see them graduate college and move on, it's rewarding. It's a blessing to be a part of their journey. Who are some coaches or some people you'd like to thank throughout your 19-year career, your journey?
Oh man, I mean, we've had awesome staff. You know what I mean, as far as the time we started to now. I mean, look, Coach Neal, he's still with me, of course. Coach Janey has been there. We had J.B. Martin, who coached with us for a while. We got Wes King. We got Coach Jackson, who coached with us for many years with our freshman program. Coach Cassie, she came over and she helped out this year coaching with us. We've had former players like Jasmine. She helped coach the freshman team this year. Sheridan has been around. We've had just so many girls. Kate, just different people that came in and that's been a part and that's been helping out. Aubrey came over when she was at NAU, and Coach Coco came on. I mean, so, there's several people that, thankful for coming through. Our administration has always been strong and supportive, and so we appreciate that. I got to thank, of course, my family. I got to thank Julie for always putting up with me and being gone, and you know what I mean, and really being into the different sports, especially once I picked up flag football. And, the kids, Trev, Illy, they've always supported me, and so yeah, I mean, it's a list of people, so it's a bunch of you out there, so just know I thank you all. I thank everybody.
If you got missed, it wasn't intentional.
Not intentional at all, not at all.
After 19 years, that's a big support system right there.
Absolutely. And it's been good, though, and if it wasn't for that support system and the consistency, then I probably wouldn't have made it 19 years, so.
Yeah, so I have to ask, after winning this last one, let's postpone retirement a little bit more.
I always tell people, now that I done got this close to 20, once you get 20 years with the AIA, I think you automatically inducted into the Hall of Fame. So I figured that's an easy way for me to get into the Hall of Fame is just make sure I coach 20 years. 20,
two of these definitely helps that case for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. And, I used to tease, like, Michaela Bagoody. She played for me. That's Sunshine's older sister and whatnot. And Sunshine would be little. She'd be over there at the practices doing whatever, you know what I mean? And she had a skill set. And I used to tell Michaela, I say, you better beat her while you can, because Sunshine, by the time she a freshman, she going to be beating you. No, she won't, Coach. No, she won't. I'm like, yeah, she going to be a better player than you, know what I mean? And then I just said, well, you know what? When Sunshine walk across that stage, I might walk across that stage. I might be done when she done. But we'll see. I'm still enjoying it, you know what I mean? And as long as we're able to hopefully affect the girls positively and continue to have some success, we'll be around. If it changes or if I'm not in it the way I was, then, I'll get the reins to somebody else.
Right. Yeah, no, big ups on 20 years. That's huge. I mean, it's a huge commitment, for your families, for yourself. But man, what a gift to give the community and all the young athletes. Have you ever had a mother and a daughter? Have you ever coached? Yeah.
Yeah. No. I've been there long enough to work.
19 years, yeah.
So we had one. So our first couple years, we had a player playing for us, and then her daughter came through. Her daughter is a junior right now, but so I guess we've had it in the program. Not necessarily playing for me yet.
Okay.
So we've had it as part of the program. We've had a mother that was in the program, and now her daughter's in the program. We got a couple like that. We got another one that played for us, and then her daughter was a sophomore this year. So and she was on JV. So we'll see if she makes the varsity level and all that type of stuff, and bring it all full circle. But yeah, I say, man, I done coached mamas and daughters, you know what I mean, within the program. I'm like, it's like, wow. Yeah. So that
we're
just
starting
shows.
To age ourselves right now.
We are. Look, 20 years. I mean, and it does go by fast. You look up and you be like, wow, 20 years. And, when we were down there at the state championship, they were honoring the 1975 team that my uncle was on. And he was just like, man, 50 years. He like, where does the time go? And it's just like, yeah, that's crazy to really think, 50 years, and some of his teammates he hadn't seen in 50 years. And, I mean, why you doing it? Just make the most of it, because it do go by quick.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
So that night, for those that aren't aware, they recognized the Flag High 1975 state championship team.
Yep.
At the halftime of your state championship game, right?
Well, it was at the halftime of the boys' game.
Oh, the boys' game,
yep.
Okay.
So it was at the halftime of the boys' game, and so we had won it already, and then we got to actually take some pictures with that 75 team. They had their state championship trophy. We had this trophy. And it was a cool moment. My uncle was an integral part of that team, and we got to take a picture with him holding his trophy, me holding that trophy, and then, you know, just 50 years later, to be able to win on a night where they were being, you know, honored and commemorated, and to get that moment, he and I, to, you know, take the picture with state championship balls from 50 years apart, you know. Not everybody gets a chance to do that, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet it's far and few between.
Yes,
so
indeed.
we got 50 years apart, and then, you know, a uncle and a nephew from the same school on the night that, I mean, that everything that came together. How special!
Yeah, yeah, it definitely was special, and you know, just thinking about the boys basketball. 75 was the last time that they won a championship. The only other time that the Flag High boys have even gotten to the championship since then was 30 years later, when our son was a senior, and they played for the state championship, and they lost to Mike Bibby and them. And so
Yep.
it's just like 50-30. You know,
Yeah.
It's just like, it's crazy, but
Yeah, and time flies when you're looking at, you know, I mean, we're not talking about years, we're talking about decades.
yeah, absolutely. But, you know, the good thing about it is that, look, we're still here to talk about it.
That's it. Blessed to be here talking about it and reminiscing. And,
yes, sir.
Yeah. So where's your uncle at now? It's Larry Johnson.
Yep.
And where's he at now?
He's in Vegas. So once he finished up at NAU, he went to Vegas. He was teaching there for some years. He was coaching. So Larry won a championship as a player at Flag High. Then he went on coaching in Vegas, and he won a couple state championships coaching in Vegas. And now he retired from coaching, and he's an administrator. And, you know, last year, not this season, but the season before, they won a state championship. So he's been at it at all different angles and levels and all that good stuff. So, yeah, he's still in Vegas.
Yeah. How big a part did he play in your mentorship and mentoring you to getting where you're at as a coach?
Well, the big thing when, you know, I was young coming up, you know, everybody wanted to be like LJ. When I got to high school, the comparisons between me and LJ and Coach Whiting and TJ, if LJ was here, I'd be like, look, man, LJ ain't here, so let's not do all that. And so, but no, you know, LJ went about his business right when it came to basketball and just handling business. And so, you know, it was easy to try and follow in his footsteps of what he was doing. And, you know, with coaching, you know, we talk about just the different things as far as like his philosophy versus my philosophy, what he's trying to do, you know, the athletes that he has, so on and so forth. And so, you know, you just draw inspiration from that. You draw inspiration from that type of success, and then you see how you can modify it to, because he coached guys, modify it to the girls, and then still be able to have a high level of success by instilling some things in them that they can take and put on the basketball court, but then they can also take these lessons and use them outside of the basketball court just to help them make them better people overall. And so, you know, we had plenty of conversations, you know what I'm saying, on different things. And so that was appreciated, and, you know, all that helps.
Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's been a pleasure sitting here talking basketball with you. And, I mean, we're going to wrap it up, so I'll do the da-da-da-da-da. We got Coach Danny's golden nugget question, and so I'll hit you with this one. So for all the coaches out there, through 19 years of trials and tribulations, of good times and bad times, and what is it that keeps you motivated, that keeps you coming back? I mean, coaches don't do it for the income; they do it for the outcome. So, what is it that keeps you coming back and year after year?
I think you hit the nail on the head when it's the outcome. And for me, the outcome is not about any accolades. For me, I never got into coaching trying to win the most games in Flagstaff history or trying to be this or that. Got into the game really to be a liaison to the college community for a lot of these kids here in Flagstaff because we have so much talent that I felt could play at the next level. And so I initially, that's what I came in. I wanted to be a liaison to a lot of those colleges for a lot of these students and whatnot. And then, you know, you feel that you have something that you can give these kids that's just going to help them prepare them for life. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a game. You know what I mean? You aren't your sport, you know, and a lot of us, we like, oh, basketball is everything, and if it's not basketball, but no, that's something you simply do. You know, there's a lot more to life than just basketball. And so, you know, just to any other coach out there, just understand your why. For me, it wasn't coming in and trying to be the most winningest coach or anything. To me, it was more for these kids. And, you know, I go home at night and I sleep well because I know what I'm doing in the best interest of the kids. Obviously, the best interest of our program. It's never in the best interest of Tyrone. And so just with that, if you know your why and you stick to it and you stay true to yourself, things will happen. You know, just do it the right way. Don't try and rush the process. Good things will come.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's it, man. Well, congratulations, my brother.
Appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Man. That's
Thank
huge. But we're going to wrap it up, so you ain't got to go home.
But you got to leave here.
Peace.